Macy Gray is a blues, jazz, soul singer who has been at it for many, many years. I must say, I've never really dug deep into her discography, but she is an artist that many people know the name of and many people have referenced over time. Especially in hip hop, I feel like she gets referenced quite a bit. Does a few features from time to time. And Ruby is the latest effort from her. She's like in her 50s at this point, so I was expecting some sort of like gravelly vocal performances over some very traditional jazz beats. And I'd say that's kind of what you get, but a little bit more. In fact, so much more, to be honest. These aren't just really straightforward, jazz numbers with some really good vocal performances or anything like that. These are some very catchy, peppy, upbeat tracks with so much swag to the vocals all the time, so much sass in the lyrics. Like Macy Gray on some of these tracks, man, especially like Sugar Daddy, she is just like owning it. You do not mess with the Macy Gray. You do not. It's also pretty cool to hear Macy Gray like dabble in some really obvious pop trends at times. I mean, that probably could put people off, especially on a track like Sugar Daddy, which I think is one of the worst here because of like the really basic like skittering trap beat on the verses. I mean, it's not like obviously a trap song, but that very obvious modern day approach to pop music is really obvious on that track. And there's almost like this drop on a track like White Man, which reminds me of a song that was in the charts not too long ago, actually. I think it's by Jonas Blue or something. And, just out of nowhere on this chorus, it's like, bow, 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 bow. And it actually really works well. Like, there's these, like, finger snaps as well. And I don't know, I just think this modern, like, blend of jazz and soul, it really works pretty well. And to say it's coming from someone in her 50s, I do commend it even more. And the closing track as well, Witness, has this reggae dancehall vibe, which is incredibly trendy right now in the charts, but this is done in a really classy way. I think I like the way she delves into religion on this song too. Just makes for an interesting track overall, and how she's able to blend these sounds together without making it sound like pop trash. I'm not trying to sound like a hipster or anything, but when trends hit in the charts, they hit hard and you get bored of them after 2 months. And it's just one of those things right now with like the reggae type stuff on every song that's like in the top 10. It's getting old, man. But Macy Gray has finesse. She has finesse. She can do this, man. One thing that surprised me with this album, though, is like the relationship issues and traumas that she typically is going through across many of these songs. I wasn't really expecting it, to be honest. I wasn't sure what I was expecting, but she depicts a lot of these issues in a really interesting way. Take a track like Jealousy. I mean, on this track, she's just discussing issues in a relationship where people just get way too jealous over very minor things. And you might think, it's a bit of a cliche thing, but I think she sells it in a really cool way. Like the way she's talking about this is really accurate. I mean, I think jealousy is within every person. It's not something you can just get rid of, but the extreme jealous types do exist. And I just think the way she's singing about it is really quite interesting to listen to. And the fucking instrumental is amazing, and it's probably the best song on the album as is. There are some moments that hit major lyrical cliches though, especially on a track like Tell Me, where she says the line, sometimes I'm up, sometimes I'm down. That's a fucking Drake lyric right there, come on. I mean, if I'm gonna mock Drake for that line, I've gotta mock Macy Gray equally, it's only fair. And there's even one bit where she's like, roses are red, violets are blue. I can't excuse the cliches though, because of the generation that Macy Gray comes from. These kind of things were said perhaps when she was a lot younger. It's much better hearing it from someone in her 50s than it would be listening to a Shawn Mendes song or an Ed Sheeran song, who would say probably the exact same lyric and it would be incredibly cringy. But they can be excused on this album, to be honest, because the music for the most part is just so friggin' good. I mean, Over You just has this amazing horn section that is blasting out, and man, I just want to dance. Pretty much all of these instrumentals are done in such a brilliant way and so tasteful. the whole way through. Occasionally a few hooks, like just like Jenny, don't really sit that well with me, but there aren't that many moments that I would say are particularly weak, just a few here and there, but for the most part this is a really good album. 7.5 out of 10, I think this is a really solid album. I think you should check it out if you like jazz, soul, and all of the other musical styles that she blends together on this album too. It all comes together really well. Definitely not going to be an album that, you know, gains that much traction, but it's a shame really because it is actually genuinely really good. If you have heard this, let me know your thoughts. Subscribe to the channel for more reviews, comment. Have a good day, have a good day.